turn this up. Sun peeking through the curtains, we already in gear. Whole town tuned in, bring your coffee over here. Dial locked in, yeah, you know how we do. It's the community wake up with news you can use. Community wake up morning show. Charles and Damali on the go. News you can use right here, right now. We break it down, put it in your lifestyle. Charles got the headline straight, never hollow. Damali got the game plan, moves you can follow. Traffic and the weather, what's popping at the school. From the block to the boardroom, we keep you in the loop. Yeah. Community wake up morning show. Charles and Damali on the go. News you can use right here, right now. We break it down, put it in your lifestyle. From the front porch to the car hustle, keep it light, keep it real, keep the hometown muscle. Turn it up, let the whole crew know you rockin' with the community wake up morning show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
It's the community wake up with Charles and Damali. Good morning. I'm excited about everything going on today. This is Mr. Charles Harper and
I'm Damali Wilson, and we're here to deliver the news you can use, cultural and conversation, and moves that make the community go forward.
Hey, today our theme is voice and visibility. We will be providing listeners with valuable information about voice and visibility and what it means in community. The goal is to inform, empower, and connect to community.
Because we all know that a stronger and smarter and more engaged community is a better community. So we're going to set the tone today by speaking up.
Yeah, we're going to speak up a little bit. Let our voice be heard.
Let our voices be heard.
You know what I feel like?
What's that?
It's Taco Tuesday. You know
it is Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday now.
We gotta get tacos today.
And yeah, breakfast tacos. The question is, where are the best breakfast tacos in the city?
You know,
I don't know. We're going to find out.
We need to find out where the best breakfast tacos are. Yeah. Anybody know? Y'all hit us on the live and let us know. Because, you know, we'd be hungry after the show was over with. So we need to know where to go.
Damali, let me ask you something. So how was day one, the debut?
Day one was really great. Had a good time. You know, this morning I was not up at 4 a.m. So I think I kind of settled down just a little bit. Yeah. But yesterday was great. I had a really good time, and I am excited about what's to come. This new venture that we're on, you know, I'm really excited about it. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I know. I see a lot of people on the live already. I appreciate that. Let me tell y'all something. We are so grateful. Yes. And we are so thankful that so many pulled up. We actually had 1,000 people on yesterday. It's actually been one of our very best shows. So we want to shout out a few people because we jump into it because we got some meat on the bone today. But Uncle Bobby up early with us over there at KBOB 89.9 FM.
Absolutely.
He got us tapped in. Of course, our boy Steve pulled up again.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out to Steve and Keys. He pulled up the family. You know what I'm talking about? We got that situated. Remember, on YouTube, the official World One Development news you can use. Your people that's on nycu.fm, turn it up if you're in your car.
Yes.
If you're at work. If you're at play. We got you covered there. And of course on Facebook Live.
Yes.
World One Development, y'all showed out yesterday. So Damali, yesterday was exciting, humbling. Man, the people that reached out from local, national, international, the love was real. So I feel excited and grateful about today. And I'm glad that we can extend our voice.
Absolutely, because you cannot take it for granted when people actually follow you and follow the work that you do. So we are very, very much so appreciative, I should say, of, you know, everyone just following us and making the switch.
Right.
Because we did a big switch. You know, we're normally on at 1 o'clock on Wednesdays. So to go to 7 o'clock in the morning, woo.
It's different. And you know what? And yesterday when the sound was down for a few seconds, I love having friends on speed dial.
I know, right?
Shout out to DJ JB Smooth. We call him, what's that song? Through good times.
Yeah.
Through bad times. What is that?
I'll be on your side
forevermore. That's what JB is for.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, we made it. Okay. So this morning we're starting out at 36 degrees. Right now it's 41 degrees right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But guess what?
What?
We're getting up to 53 today.
We're going to warm up. I didn't have to wear a jacket today. I'm excited about that, especially after all that rain and ice last week. So I am excited to get into a little bit warmer weather this week because that polar bear life, it's not my life,
y'all. Ain't about that life.
And what I want to ask y'all to do right now, if you're local, national or international, click share right now, because like I say, the meat and potatoes that we're going to be sharing, we need to have those things, Damali, in our community. Yesterday, we talked about Black media and local media. And yesterday, I think the people responded to that.
Absolutely.
The importance of it, because I looked at the regular media, and shout out to y'all. Y'all all right with me, but it was the same thing, Damali. The more I looked, the worse I felt. So hopefully when you tune into the community wake up, then we do some opposite of that. We wake you up physically.
Right.
But then we wake you up in some other areas.
Yeah. Because, we always talk about on our show that it's about positivity. We want you to, we want positive vibes. We want you to be excited about what's happening in the world, excited about your neighbors, excited about community, excited about the great things that are happening in our own space. And a lot of times we don't get the opportunity to hear those things. So that's what this show is all about. It's sharing the positivity and making sure that we are amplifying the voices of those in community who may not even be heard.
Yeah, I know. And it was funny this morning. See, you don't know the difference between doing something at 1 and then doing something when you rolling at 6:30 in the morning. People in the cross was looking, blowing their horn like, who is that guy?
We never see him.
Who is he and where is he going? I'm like, hey, friends.
Like,
hey,
no.
Hey, they're probably like, he's a little too friendly.
Right.
I'm like, look, I'm trying to bring some good vibes. So y'all get used to in Tulsa feeling this great energy early in the morning, because we're going to make sure everybody have a great morning on a community wake up show with Charles and
Damali.
Just like that. Let's get to this morning affirmation.
All right. So today, our morning affirmation is this. So we're going to woosah just for a second.
There you go.
My voice matters because history provides the change that begins when we speak, organize, and refuse to be silent.
Right.
Okay. So we're talking about, our theme today is voice and visibility. Right. And so we've got to refuse to be silent, but we got to know where we're going and how we're going to use our voice in order to amplify the message that we're trying to convey.
I know. And I know sometimes when you look at news and media and you're in different spaces, you feel intimidated, to speak up. But we should not live in a world where you feel like you can't speak, Damali. No. You can't talk. You can't voice your opinion. And another thing, I'm hopeful that people in 2026 don't get so easily offended. Don't be, is people just easily offended, by anything.
Right.
Maybe I am too. So y'all pray for me. So this thing is about us. Because sometimes it shows you be acting offended too. If I do, I apologize.
Right.
But in 2026, let's find a way to listen. And that's what I want to do more. Because sometimes you got to talk about yourself.
Right.
So my goal now, instead of thinking about what I want to say next, I'm going to take a deep breath when somebody's talking. I'm going to really listen and hear what they're saying first. Right. And then I'm also going to try to respond in love versus anything outside of that, because I feel like if I operate in that vein, I think that I'm going to help this world and myself be healthier and whole this year.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just don't have to say everything that you think.
Uh-oh, Damali. Uh-oh.
Dropping bars.
You don't have to say everything that you think.
Everything that you think, because you never know how it's going to affect the next person.
Right.
So, sometimes keeping it real might be just a little bit too much.
Yeah, it might be a little too real.
You might need to hold just a little bit of that, and just because, like you're saying, if you are saying it with love, then if you're thinking about, would I want somebody to say this to me in this way? Right. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't say that.
Right. Just like
so
that.
We're just going to work on
So what you're saying, Damali, this year, I don't have to worry about you trying to have the last word with me.
No.
We're not going to do that.
No.
Okay. We're going to end it in love wherever it is.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can relay and spill out into the community. So let's say you don't have to have the last word.
Exactly.
Starting on Taco Tuesday. That is your morning aspiration, family.
Affirmation, yes. Our morning affirmation. All right, so this segment was sponsored by Tulsa Theater North. So don't miss the play, Nat Turner in Jerusalem, that's going to be coming real soon. There's a drop, so we're going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Theater North Tulsa presents Nat Turner in Jerusalem at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. A powerful two-person drama imagining the final night of Nat Turner as he confronts Thomas R. Gray, the man who recorded his words and helped shape his legacy. Written by Nathan Allen Davis and directed by Keith Daniels. It's the hit stage play Nat Turner in Jerusalem. Explore faith, resistance, and the cost of telling the truth. Don't miss Nat Turner in Jerusalem, playing at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Liddy Dungeons Theater, February 21st and 22nd, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. And February 28th and March 1st, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. Get your tickets now for Nat Turner in Jerusalem at TulsaPAC.com or call 918-596-7111. Nat Turner in Jerusalem by Nathan Allen is presented by arrangement on behalf of Samuel French Incorporated.
You know what? It's really not that bad being up at 5 a.m.
Damali, you know what? You're absolutely right. The only thing better is we on 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's the Community Wake Up, our brand new morning show.
Right here on NYCU.FM.
And simulcast on KBOB 89.9 FM.
We got your Black History Trivia.
We got your medical report.
Don't forget the police report.
Your local, national, and international news.
Always the latest on upcoming events.
The Divine Nine and the HBCU check-ins.
And most importantly, we can't do it without you.
And make sure you join us each and every day.
It's the Community Wake Up
with Charles and Damali.
All right, y'all. The Community Wake Up. I like that little bit.
I know. I was grooving over here.
Right. I'm like dancing. Hey.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Community Wake Up with Charles and
it's Damali.
And we are back, y'all.
Yes. Hey, I think we should do some shout outs real quick.
You know what? I'm officially the shout out man. I love the shout outs. Real quick. Cousin Lori was the first one on.
What's up, Cousin Lori?
Shout out to Corey Lori. Welcome to the show. Prentice Osborne. That's my partner from back at the crib. Brother, it does my heart good to see you. I see somebody on from China. Chinatown.
Okay.
Can you say Chinatown like that?
No. No.
No. Okay. Never mind. Hey, shout out to everybody over there in China. Richie Anderson is in the building. Welcome back to the show. My cousin said good morning, Pearly.
Good morning, Miss Pearly.
Down in Arkansas, we're going to be with her this weekend.
Yes,
we're going to be pulling up on y'all. So Arkansas, y'all get ready to wake up show.
We on the way.
We heading down that road, y'all. We're going to come down there and see y'all. We got Anna Marie Baker.
What's up, sister? In the
Foundation. Yeah, good sister, man. We love that sister. Your mom is on, my mom.
What's up, mommy?
And the man that says always acknowledge him is already on early to roll with me. He said, good morning, niece Charles, and acknowledge me. I know he talking about me right there. Corey Green.
What's up, Corey?
He said, what's up, Pete? Good morning, peace. We got many, many secret listeners and many, many others on, and I'm going to come back to the live, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the show just a little bit, y'all.
Absolutely. So our news you can use today, we're going to talk about 3 different areas. And this may be a little bit heavy, but we're still going to talk about it anyway, because we want you guys to start getting used to understanding and knowing. And we're going to want to continue to educate you about the things that are happening in community. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk a little bit about policy.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably not your favorite things to some folks.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It affects your life every single day. And right now, when whoever got in office, because we don't ever tell you who to vote for,
right?
You feeling policy right now.
Yes.
When right now you go get that milk and you like, ooh,
ouch,
that's policy. Mm-hmm. When you try to go book that airport, you get to the airport and it's all delayed everywhere. Yeah. That's policy. When your education stuff is seeming off a little bit and your stuff is short, policy. When you get that insurance quote, like I did, and it's 3 times what it was last year, that is policy. So it's important for us in the community to wake up to talk a little bit about policy, Damali.
Just a little bit. And just the things that you should be looking out for and the things that kind of affect you, right? So public health and safety, we're going to go there first.
Right.
So did you guys know that there's a healthcare avoidance crisis in Minneapolis? Yeah. You know, Minneapolis, they've been in the struggle just a lot here lately. But a public health emergency is unfolding because immigration and communities of color are avoiding medical care due to fear of immigration enforcement. Clinics and volunteers are stepping in with home visits and telehealth to fill the gaps.
I know, Damali, and my question is, how sad is that?
That's very sad.
When policy, which we're talking about, have you fearful to take yourself, your kids, you may have some elderly parents, and now you're like, man, we need to go to the urgent care. We need to go to the hospital, but because of this policy, we're afraid that if we leave, we might not even make it back.
That's right.
Because people are not going by what the law is. They implement these policies and they're just kind of running with it, Damali. And it's pretty scary and it's pretty sad. But when you know what's going on, you can better be equipped when you have to deal with it.
I think some of the policies, they don't really think them through.
Right.
It sounds great in the beginning, but you're not thinking, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road.
Right.
Or if you are thinking that there is some financial gain for the policymaker, and so but it affects all of us. So that's why it's very important. A lot of times we talk about this all the time when we do policy 101 or government 101, when we talk about when you're voting folks into office, you need to make sure that the policies and the platforms that they're running on align with what it is that you believe, right? And it may seem like it doesn't matter. Right. But, that one extra vote could be the one extra vote that's needed to get that person in office who aligns, more aligns with what it is that you believe.
Right. And then when we talk about politics one-on-one, which we really jump into what's going on, if nothing else, it's simple things like understanding, of course, our president is the CEO of our country.
Correct.
Then understanding our governor, which he had to state of the state last night, is the CEO of your state. Right. And then just little things like your mayor. Shout out to Mayor Monroe Nichols.
Hey, Mayor.
Is the CEO of your city. You see, when I say more Nichols, I just feel better about our city. And that's that local government stuff. We ain't going to get too far into it, but at least understanding that your mayor is the CEO of your city. So the safety, health, anything that's going on, then that brother's sitting at the top, letting us know what's going on.
So Uncle Brian says also they have a rubella outbreak in Minnesota as well. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, or in Minneapolis. So, that's what we're talking about, though. And that's probably part of it because people don't want to go into the doctor because they're afraid, like what might happen, or they, like you say, they may not make it back. Another place that we need to be looking at is in foreign policy,
right?
And foreign aid. The United States mission to review aid for compliance with new social policies rules. These new instructions widen restrictions on foreign aid to exclude programs. Check this out. To exclude programs tied to abortion services, diversity, equity work, and gender-related initiatives. Right. This is impacting up to $30 billion in global assistance and provoking backlash from humanitarian groups.
Yeah. So how many billion?
30 billion with a B.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of times this policy stuff, y'all, and we try to find a way to talk about it where it's interesting. So get your notepad out.
Right.
Is all about the money.
All about the Benjamins.
All about, I was going to say that next, depending on where you're from, all about the dineros, the Benjamins, whatever you call it. And thinking of policy and talking about policy, we also got the Terrence Crutcher Foundation is on right now live.
What up?
Talking about policy and what's going on. Yeah. That's a foundation you want to get with because they always are on top of what's going on and they understand how it affects us daily.
Right. And so once again, we're just kind of putting this out because this week is going to be a week of Lang Foundation. Right. And then next week, and as the weeks go forward, then we're going to be bringing different experts in.
Right.
To talk about these different areas that we're talking about. But we're trying to get you guys in the mindset of what this is going to be about and where you should be looking for your information. Okay?
And what it makes me think about, Damali, is when you talk about trying to be or wanting to be the best country in this world, then I feel like health is like the basic thing that we all should have. How are we going to even kind of spew out that we the best country in the world if we don't have the basic decency of making sure everybody is healthy, if nothing else? You know what I mean? So just something to think about.
All right. So environmental protection is another area where they've got rollbacks in the EPA. So recent deregulatory moves weaken critical protections for air, water, toxic chemicals, and climate policy. That affects us all, right? Including scaling back on clean water safeguards and emission rules. Experts warn that these could harm environmental justice and public health nationwide.
I think a lot of times, Damali, people don't really think about those things till you wake up one day and you're 35 or 40 and say, why do I have allergies?
Yeah.
I never had allergies all of my life. Now, all of a sudden, I got allergies. People that's been playing sports, doing good all of their life, and now they got asthma. And you've been wondering, where's all this crazy stuff coming from? The thing about it, now you're getting into your energy. What's the pollutants in the air and those kind of things was critically important because, hey, we don't want to be checking out of here early. And that's when you have to have the right people in position, which goes into policy, because somebody going to have to care about what's going out into the atmosphere that we breathe in, our kids are breathing, our parents are breathing. We got to be concerned with those things.
The other place that we need to be looking at is there are widespread changes in SNAP food assistance rules.
Right.
We kind of started talking about that on last year on our other show, but there are new federal regulations rolling out in 2026, which tighten work requirements and impose limits on what recipients can buy with SNAP benefits. States like Michigan, Illinois, and California are already beginning these implementations, which may result in benefit reduction and increased pressure on food banks.
I know that's crazy, Damali. And here's a ticket. If you wanted a sneak peek with that SNAP thing, you remember, now I'm not being funny, y'all, because it's all good in the neighborhood now, but people was about to snap when they started messing with SNAP back in November. Because the thing about it, a lot of times when you are on SNAP benefits, that means what, Damali? You already barely making it.
Right.
So the thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to have a mother or a father in a situation where they can't feed their kid, or a veteran that done went and fought for our country, has barely enough benefits to make it, but you decide, okay, instead of dealing with the people with all these billions, we ain't worried about them. We're going to go to the people that's getting SNAP benefits. That just lets me know where we are in the country right now, where you more concerned about what's going on with the SNAP benefits than billionaires that not have to pay no taxes.
Right.
But that affects us greatly every day. But you remember people were saying, we finna crash out in the grocery store. People,
yeah, they were.
It's not fun. People was like, man, look, so I think that was a bad policy that people roll back on, because when you get masses of people being disturbed and agitated about stuff, then you have to roll back what you said. But here's another thing, Damali. When do you know or don't know whether or not that was just a little test? Maybe that was just a little sneak peek of what we want to try. Let's see how everybody going to react if we do this. And that's why I'm glad we're doing a community wake up, because, look, we are human beings and we have feelings, but let's try not to be so emotional. Let's try not to respond or just react without thinking, because a lot of stuff that be going on, they're just trying to see how you react so that they can come with the real mission, you know, to kind of set you up. So we're not going to fall for that. We're not going to do that.
Absolutely. So Uncle Brian says most countries are going to not do business with the USA because of the tariffs until we have a new president, because they can't deal with this one. And he also said that the SNAP changes in Oklahoma go into effect on February the 15th.
And see, February 15th is right around the corner, y'all.
Right around.
It's like next weekend, you know. So again, that's why we're talking about this. That's why we want to have information, not just local, but national and international. Because here's the thing, Damali, you say it all the time. The communities that these things are affected by, we all look alike. You can go to Memphis, you can go to North Omaha, you can be in North Tulsa, North Little Rock, North wherever you want to go, all across the country. Damali, the stuff all still looks the same.
It still looks the same. So why do these things matter in our communities, right? So health access and safety. Public health depends on trusted access to care. Policies or enforcement actions that discourage people from seeking services can worsen health outcomes across all communities. As far as the global and local funding priorities, it changes in foreign aid and environmental protections may seem distant, but they ripple back into domestic policy, affecting nonprofit operations. We know all too well about that. Grant eligibility and environmental justice programs that benefit underserved communities, which is just what you just said. Nutrition. SNAP is the core social safety net program. When eligibility or permissible purchases change, millions of families, including seniors, workers with disabilities, veterans, and low-income households, are directly affected. So what you can do next, check with your SNAP agencies for updates, for benefits and work requirement changes, and conform. Make sure that you're in compliance so that you don't lose your benefits altogether. Support community health outreach. If local residents are avoiding care out of fear, nonprofits and clinics may offer safe alternatives. The other thing is to engage with environmental aid and advocacy groups. Many offer resources to help communities respond to policy changes and protect local programs.
I can tell you right now, man, we run many not-for-profits, and I can tell you right now, most of the time when you get your letter back in 2026, it says denied. Access is not granted. Those funds we normally give you, you cannot have. So now, if you're a not-for-profit, which normally is a safe haven, you know, for kids that maybe parents don't have the resources, and, you know, grandma, man, be trying to help them, or grandpa, or the veterans and things like that, they are stripping those services away. And many of you, if you're on the live, y'all speak up, let us know if something going on in your city, we'll read it over the live. But that's affected many, many people. I can say in 2026 thus far, most of the grants we normally get, we have not gotten any of those grants. So Damali, here's my question. If you're a not-for-profit like us, we got the attorney in place.
Right.
We got the CPA in place.
Right.
We got the banker in place. We do the financials every quarter. We do all of the right things.
Right.
So even if organizations like ours is getting denied, when it's already tough for grassroots organizations to get funding anyway, then you just have to know, based on policy and things that are going on, it's almost, you can feel like you're kind of under attack.
Right.
You know, so you have to find a way to adjust. Damali, I agree with you. What we don't want to do is do not put your head in the sand.
Right.
Because you still have other people out there that are willing to help you. So keep your website updated. I would say that.
Right.
On your social media, post something. Let people know. Don't feel like you're alone in this. Even if you're an organization, don't feel embarrassed to get out and let people know that right now your organization is struggling, especially if you're impacting so many lives, because you have private individuals that are still support your organization when they know the mission and the work that you do.
Mission alignment is very important.
Right.
But if they don't know your mission, you know, which goes back to your advertising and promotions and making sure that you are out there, because if you, I'm telling you, in today's society, if you do not exist digitally, then you don't exist.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So gone are the days where, you know, word of mouth is going to be how your organization propels to the next level.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next place we want to talk about a little bit is education.
Oh my God. And if you live in Oklahoma, education is one thing we definitely need to talk about.
Right. So let's just talk about on a national level first.
Okay.
So across the U.S., several education policy themes are trending.
Right.
Number one is literacy and foundational skills. Many states are debating how to ensure students can read at grade level, from diagnostic screenings to retention policies to early grades. School choice and education freedom, federal lawmakers and advocacy groups. Advocacy groups. I can't even get it together this morning. Continue to push school choice, charter expansion, and parental control policies in education. AI and future education skills, partnerships like Google's investment in AI training in Oklahoma reflect a broader push nationwide to ensure students learn future-ready skills, including tech and AI literacy that align with workforce needs. So these are some things that are happening on a national level. So they're trying to figure out how to be able to incorporate these things into school. Now, let me just say this. Education-wise, in Oklahoma, we are at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, and it's extremely unfortunate.
Right.
You know what I mean? To try to lead, you know, try to be the city where you want to welcome everybody to kind of move here and set up. When you are a parent, young parent, when you're thinking about where you want to live, where you want to raise your family, one of the main things you look at is what is the education looking like
in the area,
in that city? Because when you don't want to move to an area and be like, okay, my kids are not going to get an adequate, education, because that don't make a lot of sense.
Right.
So we got to find ways. And I know there's a lot of work being done, and we appreciate those efforts.
Right.
But we definitely gonna have to do better, because Oklahoma is like dead last when it comes to education. And Damali, I say it all the time. I'm like, everybody I run into, I assume can read a little bit. They a little 1 + 1 still equal 2 a little bit. But when them tests go in, them test scores is something else.
Well, but so let me say this though. I think that in the days of old,
right.
And I'm not saying that we old, but I'm saying when I was coming up, my mom taught us at home.
Right.
We were not dependent on the school system 100% for our education. She was teaching us our ABC. Like by the time I went to kindergarten, I knew my ABCs, I knew my numbers, I knew my colors. You know, we've got to get back to that.
Right.
We've got to stop depending on television or, the iPhones or phones to educate our kids.
Right.
We've got to make sure that we are educating them.
Right.
And I think that is the issue, because life be lifing. Right. There are so many things going on. We have so many distractions ourselves as parents. And there are a lot of younger parents, not taking nothing away from the younger parents. So shout out to the younger parents, because I was a young parent.
Right.
But I think that there are so many things going on because we're just trying to make it. Right. And so I think that that's kind of where we're fumbling the ball just a little bit, because we are not, usually we depended on the village.
Right.
And I can say this, shout out to my mama. She's on live right now.
Shout out to mom.
But my mom is the reason why I was able to do all the things that I've been able to do in my lifetime, because she was there helping to drop the kids off at school, picking the kids up. If I couldn't make it to parent teacher conference, she would go and take over on that particular role. So I think it has to get back to the village.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've got to get back to the village mentality of we all taking care of each other and we're all responsible for kids.
Yeah, and our responsibility is on us first. Can I say that, Damali?
Absolutely.
It's on us first. Yep. And here's the thing. I can understand nowadays it's tough because it's just to try to pay your bills. You got to get an extra job. Damali, people out here working 2 or 3 different jobs just to try to make it, and they still barely making it. Yep. So, we sympathize with that. But education is key. Because like you said, your mama made great sacrifices for you to be able to read and be ahead. But we're going to have to find a way right now in this season, being honest, we got to find a way to do some things at home. So at nighttime, you might have to tell your kids, hey, you're going to have to jump off that video game right now for a little bit. Let's grab us some books, and let's read a little bit, because I understand now you got access to so much stuff with these phones and all these digital things right now, and all the Snapchat, and everybody going to be a YouTube hero and all that kind of stuff. We got to be able to read.
Anna Marie said the village is definitely the key.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So why does any of this matter when we're talking about nationally, but we're kind of mixing it in together? So literacy and early education, big policy debates center on how to help students, especially in early grades, learn to read on time.
Right.
So it's not about just reading, it's reading on time. And the more ahead you are, the better you are. Those are the genius type kids, right? But legislative action in Oklahoma may expand summer literacy programs and 3rd grade retention rule. Okay. So we're trying to interrupt the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to be doing is there are grassroots organizations in community. Right. That's where we're going to be leaning. We're going to be talking about some of those grassroots organizations that are actually helping community, but you never even hear about them. They're in the background doing their job. And
we're going to bring them in. We're going to highlight them. We're going to let you put a name with a face so that you will know, because we're doing this to also encourage you that the help that you need is actually there. You just might not know that it's there. And that's the issue when you're able to control all of the media. That's what we love about being on NYC.FM, KBOB, and doing our own thing, because we will be able to get that information out, and you don't have to feel paralyzed, feeling like, man, nobody cares, because people do care. You just got to get the people with the need with the person that does care. So we're going to use this platform to make sure those things happen. And another thing, Damali, to your point, is access. Education, a lot of times, they make all these policies and rules because it don't apply to them. Their kids are all in private schools.
Absolutely.
They getting the best of the best. But the thing about this, Damali, that's a small percentage. So even when they say Oklahoma's at the bottom of the barrel in education, that's your public schools and places like that. That's not the kids that's going to the private schools. They still Ivy League in it. They still doing all the big things. So we got to understand and be a little bit more intentional on making sure our kids in the community are covered and taken care of.
You know what? And you're absolutely right. And the other piece to that is the standardized tests that are being created.
Right.
They're not created for every community.
Right.
So when you go in there and take a test, a kid is looking at this like, I don't know none of this stuff.
Right.
I don't know, this geography because it doesn't apply to my neighborhood. I barely know, I just know the borders of my neighborhood.
Right.
I don't know nothing about the other side of town, let alone the other side of another state or, the other side of this country, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. And just to talk about that, it's like right now, and here's the beauty of having you on your platform for plug, EduRec, which is education and recreation combined. Our EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, on February 1st, we start signing up kids for our spring break camp.
Right.
And one thing that we learn by actually running a program that deals with youth is we take them on field trips, right?
Yep.
And I remember one time we got the kids all on the bus, and this was disheartening, but eye-opening as well. So we're going to take them to the aquarium in Jinx, right? So we ride, and then all of a sudden kids like, yay, we going out of town.
No.
We are not
out of town.
Headed out of town.
Right.
But here's the reality of what Damali said. If your kid lives in North Tulsa and they think that when they go to the Jinx Aquarium that they're going out of town, Y'all, that's a big issue, Damali, when you think about that. And now you got to sit. Now, how do you explain that to a 10 or 11-year-old? Because you assume that a 10 or 11-year-old will know when they are still within their own city. So, Damali, it comes down to access. You know, and that's limited access if you think you're out of town just going to the aquarium.
So for those of you who are in Oklahoma legislators are actively working on major education priorities as the legislative session begins. They're going to be focusing on boosting literacy and math outcomes, which there are several bills being considered to overhaul literacy policies, including requiring K to third grade students who don't meet reading targets to attend summer school or transitional classes, and potentially reinstating third grade retention for students not reading at grade level. Now, let me tell you the danger of that. The danger of that is this. Some of those children may have challenges.
Right.
And a lot of times what I have seen is that those kids become the class clown.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, to take the focus off of the fact that they don't have these skills. Right. Then they start doing crazy stuff, or they start becoming the class bully, or doing those types of things. So what we have to do is figure out a way in our community to redirect that behavior and redirect that activity. And that usually comes with, that's how, we have football coaches, basketball coach, find something that they're good at. Right. And then the requirement is you got to keep your grades up in order to do what you want to do.
And here's the thing, and keeping it 100, keeping it real. I remember when I was younger. So a lot of times in life, it's your own experiences help you know.
Absolutely.
When I used to be sitting in class and they'd be like, it's reading time. Right when they said reading time, I knew that
the show
that was
my
about
era. To begin.
They would be like, it's reading time. You know what I would say?
What?
It's time to do the percolator. It's time to do the percolator. Everybody starts time to be, and the teacher be like, Charles, you need to read. No, it's time to do the percolator. Boy, if you don't sit down now, guess what? I'm down here with the principal.
Exactly.
And I'm relieved. I don't even have no problem with being with the principal because I prefer to be with the principal than try to read in front of my class
and be embarrassed
in front of my peers, and kids still doing that. Now I'm doing this way back in the 80s. I'm not trying to just date myself like that, but it is what it is. Yeah. But kids still do that right now. When we at EdRec sometime, I watch because I understand from what I used to do. So when they say it's time to read, other kids start saying, ain't time to do the percolator, but whatever's the new dance out now, the little stuff, they start doing it. I said, that's me right there. Yeah. Let me holler at you, man. I understand, and I get the kids some help because you can identify the things that you've gone through, Damali.
And that's why at EdRec, which is a great, and I'm glad we have these different organizations so we can kind of plug those a little bit. Right. But that is why it is education and recreation. We find a way to make education fun. Right. It don't always have to be sitting in a classroom with a book, beating the kids with, we can do things like, prime example. One day I had to be the after school teacher.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do in these non-for-profits.
You got to do what you got to do.
So just because you say CEO and COO, y'all don't know what that really means sometimes when you run a not-for-profit. You're
doing everything.
I mean, you're doing everything. Let me do a quick shout out to Gary Barnett. Yeah, welcome to the show. Tuning in from the ATL. Geneva Adams, thank you for tuning in as well. We got many others. Boy, we got a lot of secret listeners, but we appreciate y'all just really willing to pull up in the chat. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Damali.
So one of the things that I did, and I don't know how many of you have seen The Sound of Music, they have a phrase in there that says supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now, of course, I didn't know how to spell all that, so I Googled it, right? But I put that on the wall, on the board in the classroom. And then what I did was did a game with the kids. And said, okay, whoever can come up with the most words, right, then we're gonna get a prize.
All it takes is a slice of pizza. Hey, you have no idea what the kid do for a slice of pizza. They gonna get all these words together.
So, parent, we're coming up with words, and I think at one point we had gotten up to 45 words, that we had. Kids actually started crying and having a meltdown when their parents showed up to pick them up because we're trying to get enough words on the board.
They're trying to get enough words to win a token to play a video game, have a little bit of time outside. And another thing that's interesting too, I might sit in the class, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, but you shoot a rocket outside. You got a robot doing something. I'm interested in that. So what do I need to do so that I can shoot that rocket? Okay, well, you got to understand the square root of this is times this. I don't mind learning because you done, for me, that's me personally.
Trigger.
I want to shoot this rocket. I want to work with this drone. So the robotics, the STEM, and those are the things that are intriguing to kids. So we're just going to say we got an after school program, then become creative, with those things and kids to stay more engaged.
So policymakers are also talking about or creating policies aimed at making Oklahoma a more attractive place for educators to stay and thrive.
Right.
Which we should be doing that. I mean, I think that if we have folks that are willing to take care of our kids and educate our kids all day, every day, because that's a lot.
Yes.
Listen, I just do after school every now and again. And I'm like, whoa.
And let's just do this while we're talking about it. For all the principals and the teachers and our educators, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
I went into a classroom for like 15 seconds and enough was enough. We do an after school program. You get 30 kids in there and enough is enough. And a lot of times these classrooms have too many kids for one teacher.
Right.
And so I just want to say, I feel like these teachers are so underpaid. I almost feel like teachers should make more than everybody because you're raising our future.
Yeah.
While everybody's at work or you doing whatever you're doing, they are responsible for your kids and your kids' future because they with them 90% of the day. So shout out to all of our educators. We love y'all, appreciate y'all. Let me tell you this, Damali. I remember when my son was in school, it seemed like every teacher, Khalil, shout out to Khalil. He might be tuning in a minute. All the kids, all of his teachers, he would lose his favorite teacher every year to Texas.
Yeah.
Because Texas was paying they're better because they was like, man, in Oklahoma, we don't really get paid a lot. Now, I think they did march down to the Capitol because we was kind of a part of that. I think they increased it. So I don't know if we up to the point where we are part of the national average. We're
going to find out.
But we're going to find out.
Right.
On the community to wake up.
So Miss Pearlie Newton said, so true, test writers don't consider the lack of exposure that many of our students are faced with, and they write when they write the test questions. Terminology is most important when it comes to comprehending the question. Now, this is the other thing that I learned early on. Stop talking to your kids and gaga, boo boo, all
we
that.
don't need
Stop
to do
doing
that.
all that.
Yeah.
Talk to them like they are regular people. Like they can comprehend and understand, because when they get to school, then, that you're doing this baby talk to them and they don't understand and comprehend what is being said to them. Right.
See, Damali told me this some years ago, and Matiana is my youngest daughter, right? So I was doing that. Hey, Matt, I'm your daddy. And I'm going through all of this stuff. I might have got a little overzealous because as soon as Matiana came out, she stuck her head out and said, Daddy! And I had to take off running, get it back together. But I'm being a little facetious. But here's the thing. These kids now, in terms of strength, Damali, and we going back to the education, why are they raising their head up? I just had my grandson in November.
Right.
He just got out. He just got here.
Right.
I'm like, did somebody tell you just got it? He's going to raise his head up and look.
Yeah.
Papa, what's happening?
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is why are you raising your head
already
and why you look like you talking. But these kids are definitely, either way it goes, they're learning.
Yes.
Your point is, what is it that they're learning?
Yes.
So speak to them. That's why I feel like kids that have siblings that close to their age, they learn a whole lot faster than if they're just, you only have a single child. Then it seems like they don't have that social and stuff. So what you can do, if you just have your child by yourself, find a way to let that kid socialize with other kids, find activities and programs so they can be around kids their age.
Absolutely.
Because they will definitely respond to that.
Yes. I see Ramona Rogers just joined us. I got something for her in just a moment. And I also see Tiffany Crutcher says, good morning.
Good morning. Two of my favorite sisters.
Right on time, because we're going to do the justice update real quick. And you're going to be one of the people that we're going to be pulling in here to tell us about some of the policies and things that are happening in the space of justice. So this right now, what's happening, there are several changes happening in the justice system that directly affect our communities, even if they don't always make the headlines. The U.S. Department of Justice has slowed down or paused some police reform agreements in cities across the country. These agreements were meant to make sure police departments followed better rules around the use of force, transparency, and community oversight. When the pause happens, it can mean less federal pressure on departments to change harmful policies.
Right. Which
is one of the things that Terrence Crutcher Foundation is working on, is, policy reform. Why this matters? Accountability protects both public safety and community trust. Without it, communities often feel unheard and unprotected.
I know it seemed like that's one thing that seemed like it's always an issue in Tulsa. It's the oversight situation. It's like we don't want no oversight, but I think it's only fair, because if you are dealing with people every day and you got to arrest them and you got to do this, you should want some type of independent, transparent system to come in to make sure people are safe, because it's too many people coming up beat up, coming up dead, coming up in the hospital. And guess what? Nobody know what's going on.
Right.
And you can't get a report for a month if you ever get the report. So I think these things in the justice system, especially when it comes to our community, we just got to call a spade a spade. We got to find a way to do better in that area, because at the end of the day, it depends on where you live, you target it.
Yep.
That just is what it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate the Terrence Crutcher Foundation here local in Tulsa, and hopefully you got justice initiatives or programs like what we have here that will help, because I'm telling you, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher and Terrence Crutcher Foundation, no matter what's going on, they're going to be there. And we appreciate this sister, because she's on the front line of all time. She's been doing it maybe before she got here, but I know from 2016 on, so that's 10 years. This year that I know she's been on the front line for Tulsa. And a lot of times you don't understand. It's not just the work that we see her do. We understand it's the work that you don't see her do every day that makes your life and your kids' life better. So shout out to the Terrence Crutcher Foundation. We're happy she's on. We love your sister.
We also need to be watching the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United States is hearing cases that could change how much power federal agencies have, how sentencing works in criminal cases, and how voting rules are enforced. This decision can quietly change how laws affect everyday people, from environmental protection to how harshly someone is sentenced in court. Once the court decides, these rulings affect the whole country, not just one city or state.
You know what that makes me think about?
What's that?
Right here at the 36th Street North Event Center, we do what we call an expungement expo.
Yep.
So basically, we turn our facility into a courthouse. And when I think about these policies, we have people coming in here 50, 60, 70 years old. And guess what? They got 20, 30, 40 years for having half of a joint. What you call it? It's different words now. Weed, the dispensary, whatever you call it now. But that's the thing about policy and injustice. How did you at 17 have a half of a roach, can I call it that? I don't want to keep saying it over the airway, in the ashtray? And we had a guy that had to get his record expunged after 50 years. So that was 50 years where his family thought he was a kingpin over a half of a joint that he had in the ashtray when he was 17. So he spent his entire life, he said, now being a janitor, his whole life doing car detail work, certain places he couldn't live, certain places he couldn't just be, and all those kind of things. And this is where policy come in. So we won't harp on it too much, but it's a lot of policy changes going on now. So Damali, I'm glad we're helping the community to wake up with Charles and Damali to these initiatives.
There's also voting rights changes that are happening. Some states are tightening voting rights rules, including voter ID laws and voter roll cleanups. Now, that can be kind of scary. So make sure you know. So in plain language, supporters say to prevent fraud, critics say it can make voting harder for seniors, students, low-income voters, and people of color.
So that's targeted. Stay woke. It's targeted. So what we want to do is let you know when those things are going on. Because I understand. You be like, man, I don't care nothing about that. Man, I'm just trying to make it out here. But a lot of the reasons why your situations is like that, because one, you're not informed, and it could be simple things you can vote. Because here's the thing. People losing races by 10 votes. 15 votes.
That's it.
So just you and your family and your cousins could have determined what's the price of your gas? What's the price of your grocery store? What access to education? People are not losing all the time by landslides. These things are a lot closer than you think. And we feel like when you tune in with us, you'll be a little bit more informed. We say, man, let us get out. We didn't realize they lost by 5 votes last time. And we don't want this for our kids or for our grandparents or those kind of things. So we're going to get out this time in 2026 to make for a better community.
So the bottom line is, for community, justice isn't about the courts. It's about housing, voting, safety, and opportunity. Policy changes at the top always trickle down, right? So stay informed. Staying informed is a form of protection. So knowing what you need to know when you need to know it. is going to be important.
And I'll say this too. I won't go as deep into the politics of it, but a lot of people don't know this. And that's the beauty of y'all tuning in. My degree is criminal justice with an emphasis in corrections. A Damali degree is
criminal justice as well.
Yeah, and you 25 years in the what?
Legal field.
And I work for the state of Oklahoma. I was a juvenile justice specialist. So that means for 5 years, I worked with the most challenged kids. I won't say the worst kids, the most challenged kids in this state. So when I got my first group of kids coming out of college, first degree murder, 2 or 3 kids, first degree rape, 2 or 3 kids, arson, rape, all of those things were kids that I was working with. What I realized, a lot of the issues and situations that they had going on was all about where they lived and where they was located. And a lot of stuff was just like learned behavior.
Yes.
You know, so we got to find a way to get people these basic needs, you know, that they got to have because they will make better decisions. You know, a kid that got everything that he need, typically getting love at home, probably not going to come out and rob you. Probably not going to come out and kill you. Probably not going to cuss you out because they're not feeling some kind of way. Because when you are hurting and you hurt, you feel like everybody is potential your enemy. I'm walking down the street, I'm hungry. People riding by in their Benz, riding by in their Lexus. Nobody even say hi to me. You know, we got to find a way to, hey, how you doing, buddy? Man, you doing all right? You need anything? Because it's nothing for all of us can buy somebody a sandwich. All of us can help somebody out with a couple of dollars. Right now in this season, 2026, we're going to have to really start considering those things.
Right. What is the saying? Hurt people, hurt people.
Hurt people is real, Damali.
Yeah.
That's real.
So our next segment is going to be community update. And I'm just gonna give you some blanket information because we're 10 to the top of the hour already. But policy is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, so it's a lot. It affects us in a lot of different ways. But, you know, want to make sure that you understood kind of some of the mechanics of it and what we're going to be bringing to the table so that you guys are informed and that you guys understand what is actually happening in community. So let's talk about locally. And local. So if you are local, what's happening right now in Tulsa is there are a lot of meetings that take place that if you don't know, you just don't know.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yeah. If you know, you know. So one of those meetings is the Tulsa City Council meetings. They are regularly held on Wednesdays at 5:00 at the City Council chamber downtown. And public comment is often part of the agenda. You can also watch the sessions online and check the agenda for specific topics. So for more information, you can go to tulsacouncil.org. So we're putting it out there so that you can start getting in the know, right? Tulsa County Commissioners is another place. They hold public meetings, including budget sessions. Advisory boards are listed on the civil clerk portal with dates and times and agendas. The next meeting is February the 9th. You can go to tulsacounty.org for more information.
Right. And what I want to add, when you were younger, Damali, did you even know about a city council meeting?
Not a clue.
Let me tell you something. That's what the difference is a lot of time. We are not even exposed to this stuff. We don't even know what a city council means. We don't even know what a city councilor is. So we have to do these basic things. So today we actually just building a platform because you notice we're not doing no deep dive into this stuff. We're just trying to lay a foundation so that later when we come back and say at city council last night, this happened, this is what you need to do. You'd be like, oh, that's what they talked about. The second day of the show, Taco Tuesday, you know, those kind of things. So for me, Damali, growing up, man, I didn't know nothing about no city council. I didn't know what was voting. I didn't know what they was meeting. And here's another thing. Now that I'm informed, I've been to many city council meetings because now especially when you're a small business, it's people down here fighting for all kind of stuff. And when you're a small business owner and you don't know what's going on, all of a sudden now you got to close your doors because they was meeting on something at City Hall that you was completely unaware of. Your taxes changed, your state stuff changed, how you can,
the borders
your
of our
borders
community
change. All these things are changing. All you got to do is do what, Damali? You just have to only go sit and just listen. You ain't got to say nothing. Most of the time when we go, I ain't said nothing on the mic. I don't want to get on the mic. It's no mic check for us. But we sometimes go and sit and listen. That way we can better serve our community. And that's what allows us to serve thousands of people because we understand what's going on. We can kind of cover the people, but now we can do the wake up so we can bring just a little bit of information to you.
Absolutely. Another thing that you need to know about or another meeting that takes place is the Tulsa Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. They hold meetings typically on the first and third Wednesday of each month to discuss land use. Zoning and development projects. So for more information, you can go to tulsaplanning.org. To get more information on that. And that affects us all. You know, what happens in our communities. And that's a lot of times what we talk about in North Tulsa in particular, is there are buildings and there are things coming up and it's like, what is that?
What is it? Where did it come from? Who said that?
Yeah.
And I don't even, what is that?
Yeah.
If you riding around saying, what is that? And what's going on? If you're doing that, then that's what we're talking about right here, especially if you're grown.
Right.
The kids, you got to give them a little bit of grace. But if you're grown and you don't know what's going on right in your community, right around the corner from your house, in 2026, we can't do that because next thing you know, they're going to put a note on your door. Hey, you owe us $19,000. Yeah. Now you're ready to respond.
We got a problem.
Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. Let's be more informed.
So a couple of things I want you guys to know that are coming up. The statewide Day of Advocacy is happening on March the 3rd, 2026. It is the 2026 Day of Action. It's hosted by OK Policy and Together Oklahoma. This event brings advocates and community members together at the Oklahoma History Center at the Capitol to meet lawmakers and to push for policy priorities that affect families and neighbors and neighborhoods. Also, the Tulsa Regional Chamber, and you can go to tulsachamber.com.
Right.
They have a couple of events coming up. One of them is One Voice Day at the Capitol, which is March the 9th through the 12th. And it's an opportunity for the community and business leaders to engage with state legislators and on regional priorities. So that's also something that, we're going to be talking about so that you guys can just start getting more involved. And we understand that everybody can't go to everything.
Right.
But if some of us are going to some of the things,
right,
and more of us are showing up, then more often than not, we won't be surprised.
Right.
Right.
Things going on.
With things going on and things happening.
I'm going to say another thing extremely important is your school board meetings are extremely important as well. And a lot of times people don't go into something, you got tension that's going on. We don't want this person back. And then you look up and you got hundreds of people. But that's determining your education. Right. And what you're getting. And when you rank last, a lot of times you got to figure out what's going on at our school board meetings. And when people are getting those different seats, you need to know who they are and their views and what they're thinking about, because it's going to affect your kid every day. Yeah. You go from little Johnny doing good in school to little Johnny making all else. Yep. A new school board member came in that you didn't know about that was in your area, and they done implemented something that you was unaware of, and now it's a strain on you and your family. But we'll keep you posted on all those things.
So all of that to say this. Tips to stay engaged. Check the city and county calendars online weekly. Right. Agendas are posted ahead of time so you can see what will be discussed at these particular meetings. Attend council and planning meetings when issues you care about, like housing, public safety, or parks, are on the agenda. Follow local advocacy groups and chambers. They frequently host forums with elected officials, and visit community calendars and ask neighbor action groups, volunteer groups, or service projects, so that now you're in the know. Right.
Another good thing, this one because here's the ticket. This one everybody know. Where my money go on my check? Be a new line item. I was using that $7 to pay for my thing. Well, that $7 is gone because you was completely uninformed on this little tax thing that was going in your vote, and a few of your friends could have kept that tax from being implemented. Right. So we talking about it. We trying to make it comical because right now, if you don't know, you're going to feel it. And when you start to feel it, you're going to start responding to it. So let's get ahead of it and be a little more proactive instead of being so reactive to what goes on to us.
All right, so I think we're going to move to our Black History Did You Know fact.
Okay.
Let's see. Black History Did You Know?
Let's see just how much you know. It's Black History Trivia with Charles and Damali.
Black History Did You Know fact. And I think this one is pretty cool. It said, do you know how hush puppies got their name?
Hush puppies. First, I just want to say, because I don't know, happy Black History Month. See, that's what people do. We deflect. And one, I love hush puppies. Now you're going to bring this up. Now I actually want some hush puppies. I'm kind of hungry. Right. But anyway, I do not know why hush puppy, but happy Black History Month. Right. It is February, y'all.
So slaves would ball up uneaten cornbread that they saved and threw it to the hound dogs to escape at night. That's why they call them hush puppies.
Get out of here.
So they would give the cornbread to the hound dogs, so the hound dogs would so focus on eating. See, deflection again.
Deflection again.
They're eating the hush puppies.
Golly.
Why they getting away?
You know what I'm thinking about? Even though, we try to say these things in a light way, but when you go back and think about that, Damali, think about when you was actually putting them hush puppies together. Though.
Right.
Think about that time and what was going on, because it is Black History Month. We do stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, but imagine when you did have that cornbread, because if I'd have been there, I'd have been like, can I eat that one before you give it to the dog? I had to be honest. I know I'd been hungry all the time.
You got caught.
I done ate. You supposed to give them to the dog. I'd be like, woof. I mean, I'd be like, especially because hush puppies are good. I'd be their build. I was supposed to be throwing it to the hound dogs. I'm putting honey on it. Okay, y'all. At the end of the day, imagine the situation when you're putting that together to try to escape for your life, though. Real talk. And it's dark. It's late. It's raining.
I thought you were talking about the shoes. No, not the shoes. Hush puppies that you eat.
Uncle Brian, I did wear some hush puppies. I thought you were talking about that too at first, them brown hush puppies. And then I ain't gonna say that. See, can relate to this stuff.
Yeah.
But when I used to have to wear them hush puppies to school, they was comfortable though. Now, so if y'all want to hate on my hush puppies, I didn't like y'all called them that, but they were like brown suede, and that felt good on my feet. Hating on my hush puppies. Get out of here.
Why you
Appreciate
playing?
that, Uncle Brian.
Why you playing? All right, so we're at the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. This has been your Black History Did You Know fact right here on the Community Wake Up with Charles and Damali. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Theater North Tulsa presents Nat Turner in Jerusalem at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. A powerful two-person drama imagining the final night of Nat Turner as he confronts Thomas R. Gray, the man who recorded his words and helped shape his legacy. Written by Nathan Allen Davis and directed by Keith Daniels. It's the hit stage play Nat Turner in Jerusalem. Explore faith, resistance, and the cost of telling the truth. Don't miss Nat Turner in Jerusalem, playing at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Liddy Dungeons Theater, February 21st and 22nd, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. And February 28th and March 1st, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. Get your tickets now for Nat Turner in Jerusalem at TulsaPAC.com or call 918-596-7111. Nat Turner in Jerusalem by Nathan Allen is presented by arrangement on behalf of Samuel French Incorporated.
You know what? It's really not that bad being up at 5 a.m.
Damali, you know what? You're absolutely right. The only thing better is we on 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's the Community Wake Up, our brand new morning show.
Right here on NYCU.FM.
And simulcast on KBOB 89.9 FM.
We got your Black History Trivia.
We got your medical report.
Don't forget the police report.
Your local, national, and international news.
Always the latest on upcoming events.
The Divine Nine and HBCU check-ins.
And most importantly, we can't do it without you.
And make sure you join us each and every day.
It's the Community Wake Up
with Charles and Damali. It's the Community Wake Up with Charles and Damali, and we are back. I can't hear myself in the mic. Is it? Can you hear me? You hear me? No. We need to hit some buttons.
Oh, there you go. I hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
You hear me now?
All right, y'all. We back.
Working.
We back like we never left. All right, so we're gonna do a small business spotlight.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's because we want to recognize community. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing. So if there is a community business or organization that's doing great things that you think we need to spotlight or highlight, and especially if they're a grassroots organization, because those are the ones that kind of go unnoticed sometimes. So we want to make sure that we highlight those individuals. So this morning's community spotlight shines on someone helping our community step confidently into the future without fear, confusion, or being left behind. We want to spotlight Ramona Rogers, also known across the community as the AI lady.
Yes.
Now, when people hear artificial intelligence, a lot of us get crazy.
Like
we're we don't want to do that.
Hold on, man.
Right. A lot of folks think about robots, job loss, or something that they don't understand. But Ramona is changing that conversation. She helps everyday people, nonprofits, churches, and small businesses use AI as a tool, not something to fear. She works closely with community organizations, faith leaders, and mission-driven groups, showing them how AI can help with sharing their stories, reaching the people they serve, saving time and resources, and staying relevant in the fast-changing digital world. She is especially intentional about making sure our communities are not left out of the technology conversation. And she also teaches responsibility, ethics, and purpose. Her message is clear. AI should serve people, not replace them.
Ooh, serve people, not replace them. Shout out to Ramona Rogers, our AI lady. So when you seen us on our promo video and we strolling downtown Tulsa just a little bit, you know what I'm talking about? That was Ramona. When you see all these flyers and stuff we've been putting out, that's Ramona, because here's the thing. A lot of us wearing a lot of different hats. I see Christy on. She said, what's up, family? What's up, Christy? Black History Saturday. You know we're going to focus on that. Thank you for tuning in, sister. We appreciate that. But like you said, Uncle Bobby said we sounded good. Uncle Bobby, appreciate you, man, over there. KBOB 89.9 FM, man, rocking with us like always for 6 years, Damali.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time right there. But anyway, Damali, your thoughts about AI personally. What was your initial thoughts about AI and how are you feeling about it now?
So my initial thoughts about AI were no way, Jose.
Uh-oh.
Am I going to be fooling around with some AI?
Right.
Because I felt like it was kind of spooky.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, it was just the unknown, you know, and I think I had watched too many movies thinking about robots taking over the whole world. And I don't know. So I was like, no, not going to do it. However, our brother and good friend, Tyrus Billingsley.
Yeah. Shout out to Black Tech Street.
Black Tech Street.
We're going to have him in here too. I already touched with him, but man, this brother is a genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he convinced us that we needed to take an AI class. And when I actually went in, Charles and I went to the class. Now, Charles would tell you the best part about the class was the food.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad about that at all. Tyron said, "Look, I got hot meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner." I said, "Brother, I'm there." Damali was like, "Now, Charles, we got to fill out this paperwork." I'm like, "Look, he told me hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whatever they want me to do, I'll do it when I get there."
Exactly. So we went to the class and actually learned so much stuff. Like it was mind blowing about time, you know, because we are a not-for-profit organization, then, you know, we don't have a big budget. Right. And so a lot of the tasks that we have to do on a day-to-day basis, it's just Charles and myself. Right. We have some, you know, seasonal staff that work with us, but, you know, a lot of the things that fall on us day to day, it's just he and I. And so we were able to figure out tips to help us get those tasks done a whole lot easier. And I'm like, wow, I'm tripping. Right. You know, so then that started the pathway. And then I saw a video from Ramona Rogers, the AI lady. And I'm like, hey, that's my classmate. I went to school with her. So I reached out to Ramona. And ever since then, we've been locked in. And so that started to open up my eyes about AI and how it can help, curtail some of the work that we have to do every day. And so I started creating AI images because it was about, Founders Day was coming up. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to try this AI thing. And hey, I was having a blast, So I am very open now. You're open now? A lot more open over here. I'll say for me, when they said AI, I'm like, what is that? They said artificial intelligence. Just saying that alone said, I'm out. Right. I'm still working on my regular intelligence. Now you're going to bring me some artificial? I don't want nothing artificial. I don't want no artificial sweetener. Right. I don't want no artificial anything. Give me the authentic, baby. Yes. I don't want no robot telling me nothing. Exactly. But anyway, it's the way of the world. Yes. It's kind of like when I used to only like to talk on the phone. Mm-hmm. I remember when they started texting, and I did not like to text, especially with that old Motorola phone. Right. You got to hit the one number 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I said, now I'm going to call you. You better take my call because I ain't got time to text. But now I prefer texting over calling, most of the time. Yeah. But my response to AI, it made me think about the old people saying the information highway is coming. Mm-hmm. The information, I just keep thinking the information highway is coming. And I feel like AI is just part of that information highway. It's where you can get on that highway and you get in the fast lane and you get down a lot sooner. Yeah. Now, tyrants didn't have my attention at first. But when we went in there and built the website in 5 minutes, when you normally spend $3,000, then people keep saying, I'm going to have your website ready next week. Well, no, it's going to be the week after next. I was like, hold on, put this in, do this.
kaboom.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, you got a fully functioning, professional looking website. In our community, we don't want nobody to be overspending for anything. Now, do you have to learn and you have to understand some things? Yes. But AI is the way of the world because, like you said, Damali, these robots now doing surgeries. In a minute, they're going to be giving you a haircut. I don't know if they're going to do that and mess up your head. But anyway,
well, they might.
I'm just saying nowadays, it's here, y'all. And it's going to replace a lot of jobs. Look, how many people been laying off folks? UPS, FedEx. Look,
you know what? So somebody was just it was JB. JB was just telling us about the drones that are now flying product. So he was somewhere, I want to say he was at Walmart or somewhere in another state, and they actually have drones now that you can place your order. The drone actually flies your products to you at your house.
Right. And here's another thing.
What?
I know that I'll add. Here's the question, because we got a lot of people on local, national, international. What do you think about AI? Because we see Texas, Florida, Arkansas, California. We got some China on. We got people from all over the country, all different age groups, men and women. What do y'all think and feel about AI right now? Yourself, your kids, what's going on? Are you comfortable with your job or any of those things? Because on the community wake up, those are the kind of things we're going to address. I'm going to tell you when I knew I had to get right into the AI. I want me to tell you, Damali, I got a story to tell you. I was in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes.
Minding my own business.
Okay.
Wanted some French toast. They had it on the menu. It was looking good. Had the hot syrup beside it with the butter on it. Butter was already melting. So I went down and ordered my food, got my French toast, my eggs with cheese.
Christy was there, right?
Christy was there too. I ordered my food, my back is turned. I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I'm ready to eat. Then all of a sudden, something bumped me just a little bit, and I look back, it's a robot. Hello, Mr. Charles Harper. How you doing today? Here's your French toast and and the robot is sitting there. It's looking at me. I'm looking at it.
Brian said, "Run away."
You know what? I wanted to run, but the way that French toast was looking, I'm like, robot man, you all right with me? But nevertheless, that sucker bagged up. Thank you for your order. Your receipt will be emailed to you, and it turned the corner. Now I watched the robot till it went out. Out of sight, because I didn't know if it was going to do something else. But anyway, that let me know right there. Okay, that is a waitress's job. That's normally a person to say, how can I help you? Here's your order. Do you have everything that you need? And now I'm sitting here eating. I look up in the robot, beep, beep. Do you need anything else? Mr. Robot Man, I think I don't know if a man or a woman. Mr. Robot Man, woman, I'll take
not man, woman,
some orange juice with no pulp in it. I'll be right back. That's somebody's job, Damali.
That is. No.
And this has probably been 5 or 6 years ago. So either way it go, like Ramona tell us, you don't have to, jobs are going to be replaced, period. But you're going to have to know about AI to probably keep the job. So the 1,000 people may go down to 10. What we saying on Community Wake Up, be one of the 10 that understand enough about AI so that you can keep your job and don't be so resistant like, man, forget AI and all that stuff. And
look, Ramona just said AI will only replace people that don't know how to use it. Just what you just said. See, Ramona, Charles been listening. He a good student. It said all jobs will have some kind of AI component. So we got to be paying attention. Frenchelle Abdallah.
All the way from Rwanda. Africa is in the building.
Exactly.
Developer extraordinaire. She over building stuff in Africa. We're going to have her call in one day because, look, we building stuff, y'all, across the water. We'll talk about that later. Y'all got to stay tapped in.
That's another segment.
All right, what we getting into, Damali? Because the AI got us.
AI got us. So voice and visibility are what we're talking about today. All right. So we want to make sure that, and so these are ways that we can be visible, right? In the digital space, because I'm telling you guys, if you don't exist in the digital space, whether you are have a website or whether you are on some of these social media platforms, you just don't exist.
Can I do this, Damali?
Yeah.
Do you know what the clan claps are over there?
I do.
You do? Okay, we almost got 1,000 people on the live.
What?
Can you hit the hand clap?
Yes.
Just because we got just a hand clap for the... Hey, we love it. And we got like a couple thousand secret listeners. Give them a hand clap.
Hey, secret listeners, we see y'all.
We appreciate y'all, man. I feel the love. Okay. All right, Damali, let's get to it.
Okay, so last couple of things we're going to talk about. It is 13 now past the hour, so we want to make sure that we are being timely.
Yeah, and it's 39 degrees outside too, y'all. So hey, just a light jacket is good if you're just not getting out. I see the sun beaming through a little bit. So today is going to be a good day. I heard it's supposed to rain a little. I don't know. We're going to see, but right now it's looking pretty good out there, y'all.
All right, so this is another thing that we're going to talk about, and we will be having once again, Dr. Andre Fardue is going to be back in studio.
Yeah, be
so
back.
he's
The
gonna
medical
be rolling
report
with us.
Yep.
The police report with Lieutenant DeLauren Sanders. He's going to be rolling with us too. You know, we're just trying to, get in here and kind of get our footing, but we want you guys to understand some of the things that we're going to be talking about. So today is Health and Wellness Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday.
Today Taco Tuesday.
Today
like
is
I
Taco
said.
Tuesday.
No,
you are absolutely correct. But what we're also going to be talking about is emotional health and community check-in.
Right.
Okay.
Like that.
So we want to talk about something that affects every home, every block, every school, and every church. That's emotional health.
Right.
Emotional health is simply how we handle our feelings, stress, and challenges. It's not about being happy all the time.
Right.
It's about being able to feel what you feel without the feelings controlling your life.
Right.
Okay. When emotional health is strong, people communicate better. They handle conflict without violence, like what you were talking about, when you were working at JSU.
Right.
And they handled those situations with violence.
Right.
Because they didn't know how to articulate or communicate what they were feeling on the inside. They bounce back from setback. They ask for help when they need it. When emotional health is ignored, pain doesn't disappear. It shows up in other ways, like anger, substance abuse, family conflict, burnout, and sometimes crime. That's why emotional health is not just a personal issue, it's a community issue. So we're all responsible for that. Healthy emotional skills create safer neighborhoods. Okay.
Well, let me tell you what that makes me think about.
Yes.
When I know your emotions are not right, road rage.
Ooh.
Road rage is a prime example of when your emotions are all over the place. And it's almost frightening. Damali, now, I don't blow my horn at nobody. I would sit at a red light for 2 days before I blow my horn and tell the people to go on. You be at a light and the light done turn green and you want to blow your horn?
Yes.
Man, one day I blew my horn at somebody. They just pointed a gun.
Oh.
I did exactly what you did. Ah! I'm like, oh, hold on. Then I look, hey. Somebody pointed a gun at you. You don't know what's going to come out. I seen the gun. I went, But nevertheless, the point is that's a real situation.
Yeah.
And that's emotion, meaning I blow my horn, you point a gun.
That mad?
When did we start doing that, Damali? Like I blow my horn at you, you point a gun at me. When did we start doing that?
That's unchecked aggression.
Unchecked aggression, not knowing to do with your emotion. Now, I can say this, Damali, our society now, it feels divided.
Right.
It feels disjointed. And we, meaning us in community, we are in community together. Let's not allow TV and news and media to let us. We've been neighbors. Yeah. We've been classmates. Yeah. We've been friends. Our kids go to school together. And because of things that people are saying on TV, now we don't want to get along because you don't go along with this or you don't go along with that. And we done grew up together. We've been cool all this time. Now you won't return my call. Do you have some friends now that you've always been friends with, but then now news and media has challenges some of your relationship? You're like, man, I've been knowing this person now. Did I really know him now? What's going on? And
I think a prime example of that is when 45, now 47, got into office. Yeah. Some of the folks, that, we were originally friends with, they had differing opinions and views. And, so it's just like, they kind of disappeared. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask y'all on the live. Did y'all have any friends that y'all was really, really cool with, but then because of politics, it challenged your relationships and you actually feel some kind of way about it?
My older sister said, not me. She said, I have somewhere to be. Point back, Charles.
That's what I'm talking about. See, Teresa, you got to have a friend, a gangster friend like Teresa. Right? She smile on the outside, but she'll shoot you on it. No, I'm just playing. She gonna check you. She gonna smile on the outside, but she gonna check you on the inside.
Uncle Bobby, if you are listening, Eli Grayson says it's very difficult to hear on KBOB 89.9. So like the signal is weak or something. So maybe you can check that.
Do a little quick adjustment. Yeah. Appreciate that, Eli.
Thank you, brother.
Make sure y'all tune in to Eli too every Tuesday, 1:00. over there on KBOB 89.9 every Tuesday. Oh, he switched to Wednesday.
I think he's taking our spot.
But Eli, I'm glad you're over here. I'm pulled up on that spot, so I got emotion. My emotions are unstable right now.
They're unchecked, huh?
My emotions are unchecked right now. Eli, you my guy. I'm just playing. But Eli, if you did change your show on KBOB from Tuesday to Wednesday in the time, put it on a live, man, because he talks about the tribes and what's going on, and that's a
Indian
big
table
thing.
talk, isn't it?
Indian table talk, and it's huge. He has the chief come on once a month, and they get into it because there's a lot of people out here that's part Cherokee and all that. Now, let me tell y'all something. Just because you got good hair on the side, because you know that's all it takes for us to say, oh, you got a little Indian in them. Right. I got a little Indian in here. If your hair is wavy right there, put some little blue magic grease on it.
Right.
But anyway, that's don't mean you automatically have Indian blood.
Yeah.
But tune in with Eli Grayson, and he'll let you know if you really need to be on those roles, okay?
Absolutely.
And get those benefits, and it's many of them.
Right.
I might add.
So the other thing that we're going to talk about is healthy communication.
Right.
Healthy communication is something that shapes our homes, our schools, and workplaces, and our neighborhoods. Healthy communication is simply speaking honestly and listening respectfully. And you're talking about that in 2026, that you want to listen more,
right,
instead of thinking about what your next response is going to be, actually being present and hearing what's being said. It's saying what you mean without tearing people down.
Right.
I think some of our legislators need to hear this.
Right.
It's listening to understand, not just waiting for your turn to talk, which is what you say. Healthy communication doesn't mean we're always going to agree. It means we can disagree without disrespect.
I think we need to say a little something to probably our leaders of our country, because you go as your leaders go.
Absolutely.
Typically. And I feel like, Damali, and I get your point, is that our leadership at the highest level fuss and cuss and fight and name call to each other. But you are the people that's running our country. You are the representative for us to speak to other countries.
Right.
And I feel like, Damali, in my mind, that's the trickle down. Because if you're doing it at the highest level, then you're doing it at the local level, you're doing it at the state level. Now the community is doing, and now you got what you call chaos.
Right.
Because nobody's communicating. People not being respectful. So I just want to say, hey, we leaders in the community, and that's why you notice our show is all positive, because of enough negativity going on. But two, if you're a local official and you know you like to cuss all the time, come on now. Because you are the leader. If you're the pastor, you know, that's why they say, Charles, you sound like you want to preach. I'm like, no. The Lord's still working on me right now. You know what I'm talking about? He's still working on me right now. But I'm just saying those positions are sacred. You know, you just don't get to be the president.
Right.
You don't just get to be the mayor. You don't just get to be the governor. You know, you don't just get to be the bishop and all of these kind of things. So I think the reverence for these positions, we need to bring some of those things back to character, integrity, and what it means, because it's not so much about you personally as a person. It's what does that seat represent? Because whatever you put in it, what is the next person going to do when they come up? What if it's a kid that aspires to be who you are?
Right.
They're going to operate and get tips and nuggets from how you display yourself. So I'm just saying, in our leadership around the country, you know, let's raise the standard a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, to show these younger generations how to do it, you know, because these little YNs, they can get crunk on you sometimes. But if you get crunk too, what can you say about it?
Right. It says when communication is healthy, conflicts don't have to turn into fights. Problems get addressed early, and people feel heard instead of ignored. When communication breaks down, small issues grow into big ones. Misunderstandings turn into resentment, and resentment can turn into anger, division, and sometimes violence. That's why healthy communication is not just a personal skill, it's a community skill.
Right.
We're the community wake up. So wake up, you know. In families, healthy communication creates safer homes and stronger relationships. In schools, it helps students feel seen and supported. In the workplace, it reduces stress and burnout. And in community, it builds trust. Let's be real. Many of the conflicts we see in our neighborhoods don't start at hate. Healthy communication gives us tools to pause instead of react.
Absolutely. Mr. Jeremiah Blackwell, we call him Maestro Sigalo. He's tuning in from the Gulf down there in Mississippi. Uncle Brian said steel chairs are always on sale.
Stop
at
it, Uncle
Walmart.
Brian.
You see what I'm saying? See, that's what happened when they was dealing with the boat dock.
Right.
Too many steel chairs was available. So the communication to resolve that, now they end up a whole big thing for everybody to watch on. So remember all the steel chairs were flying everywhere. Now the memes was going everywhere. So Uncle Brian, we're gonna leave the steel chairs that's on sale at Walmart until after the summer. Because when people get hot, they get bothered.
Right.
But anyway, love you, Uncle Brian.
Teresa says leadership should lead with integrity and respect. Absolutely correct. So let's see. So today, here's the challenge. Listen fully before responding. Okay. Speak your truth with respect and address issues early instead of letting them build, because strong communities aren't built by silence or shouting. They're built by understanding. This is your community check-in.
Right. That's tough, Damali, because I'll say this. That's easier said than done.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Truth of the matter is, and people, you know who you are. You ready to fight when you come through the door. Ain't nobody, you can tell the way the person walking. Have you seen somebody come in, the way they walk in, say they about to go.
Oh, man.
They about to go start something, you know. But anyway, Damali, I think it is, you're saying it, and we're trying to put a little comical to it because we don't want anybody to be offended. But a lot of times in our community, when we try to get anything done, the reason why we can't get nothing done because the communication is bad and people ready to fuss and fight all the time. So guess what? We stay on high center when other communities are thriving.
Yes.
And because our communication is so far off, we want certain people to be in leadership. We want to lead. We don't want to follow nobody. We can't be that way. You know, we got to have unity and work together. So I'm starting with myself.
Yeah.
If we want to collaborate on something together, Mr. Charles Lamont, but people think that's like my name. Lamont is actually my middle name. I done told y'all now. That's how you know we're family. So what I'm saying, Charles Lamont Harper is going to be willing to sit down and listen. And let's come up to an agreement. So I'm willing to give a little bit, you give a little bit, and I'm willing to agree. So that means you can't get it all your way. I can't get it all my way. Let's talk this thing out and then have a united front. So now at a school board meeting, we ain't fussing before the people. Now downtown at City Hall, we ain't fussing and cussing and fighting out here in the streets on Facebook Live and all of that. Let's make our community healthier and a lot more whole.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And you know what? And I needed to also, Ramona, I forgot to put your website on my paper here because I wanted to make sure that I pause and go back to this really quick. So the AI lady is bridging the digital divide, empowering community voices and helping us prepare for the future. She is our community highlight. You can find her on Facebook at Ramona Rogers. But I did not put her website down. So Ramona, if you'll just put that in the chat, then we'll
put it in the chat and everybody see it. And then we'll also post it.
Yes,
as
we'll post it later. Our community spotlight.
Right. And also Eli Grayson says, have you ever been to a Freeman meeting? Lord. Anytime somebody not Lord at the end. I not technically was the meeting that we went to with Councilwoman Ashley Grant. Was that was I don't know if it was the same meeting.
Was that the same meeting?
But I went to that one. It was pretty cool. But they had food, so I probably couldn't hear. I was distracted because once they gave me that barbecue, I can still remember chicken, baked beans, mashed potatoes. They had cookies. They had warm bread and salad, lemonade, and sweet tea.
The whole meal.
But I was listening a little bit, but it seemed pretty peaceful at that. Cousin, Miss Pearlie Newton says people should only speak when they understand the issue. Otherwise, keep silent.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a bar, Damali.
Teresa said, yes, I've been to the Freeman meeting.
So we know how that is. What you think about what my cousin
Eli said not the same.
Not the same? Not the same. Oh, not the same.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I know. I totally agree with her. So let me just tell you this. And I actually live by that, Miss Pearlie, because this is the deal. When I go to a meeting,
right,
I'm sitting there watching. I'm paying. People are like, dang, she don't even talk. I remember when I very first started doing World One Development, and I became the executive director of operations for World One Development. When I very first started, for 6 months, I didn't say nothing. I go into a meeting, and I just got my pen and paper, and people like looking like, what is she writing on that paper? You know, but I'm writing and taking notes because I'm trying to figure out what's happening. This is a whole ecosystem that I'm just now walking into. So you can't walk in just talking and running your mouth because you don't even know what's going on. And sometimes the answer to your question might be given if you just give it an opportunity, so let's just listen just for a little bit. So for the first 6 months, literally, I did not say anything. I would go into a meeting and I'm just writing. People was like, dang, Charles doing all the work. Damali ain't doing nothing. All she doing is coming into the meeting and writing on a piece of paper. She ain't doing nothing. No, really, I was trying to learn. And it's almost like what Ramona talks about, how AI has to learn your personality. So like now in my AI, I can put in a couple of words and it's like, oh, do you want to create because it's learned me and my personality and what I'm trying to create.
And I'll say that's a trickle down, because when I first started with World One Development, I was the executive director at the time. I used to hang with Bishop Melvin Cooper. That was then Pastor Melvin Cooper. I'm not going to say nothing about his middle name. That's between you and the bishop. But I used to do the same. I would be amongst all the community leaders. I would be with the mayor and the senator and the state representative. And to be honest, I was like, I am not even accustomed to being around you people. So I definitely was in there doing a lot of listening. You people like that, because I'm cool now. I'm cool, calm, and collective. Now I'm good in that regards, but I always want to be respectful. Yes. So a big part with me trying to listen is to be respectful, because I don't want, my biggest thing is I don't like to offend nobody. So if I'm in a meeting and I don't know what's what, I don't want to say something that don't make no sense and throw the whole meeting off or set the meeting back. Yeah. And another thing, and I'm preaching to myself, you have to get to the meetings on time. The worst thing is to get to the meeting 30 minutes late and you're mad. And you late. And you got a piece of paper with 20 things on there, and we done already talked about 19 of them. And now you want to hold up the meeting. You got the microphone, and we're like, look, the other 300 of us have already talked and discussed all this. Exactly. Now you come in angry and want to go back through the same stuff, and we have actually even reach a solution on that. So I'm just saying little tips. And I'm starting with myself, Charles Harper, Lamont. You get to the meeting on time too. So that way you don't say, I don't know if somebody already asked this, but since I just got here, well, no, you need to just get now. There's exceptions to anything. And sometimes it is what it is. We can understand that, but it's the way that you do it.
And it can't be your norm.
Yeah, do it with grace, do it with mercy, and just do it with love. Ask your questions in love. Can I say that, Damali?
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Mr. AJ, down in the J-Bone Lounge. The J-Bone Lounge is alive. He is up and moving down there in Jacksonville, Arkansas. Our Arkansas ambassador, AJ, I see you, man. Thanks for tuning in with us on the Community Wake Up with Charles and Damali Morning Show.
That's
all new.
Yes.
That sound pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You did that.
What we got next?
So it's 30 minutes past the hour. One of the things that we want to, as we wind down the show, is we want to talk a little bit about advertisement.
Yes.
And I want to keep this before you simply because in 2026, we need to do a little bit better.
Right.
We need to be making sure that when you come to an outlet, let's just call ourselves outlets, whether it's broadcast, whether it's print media, whether it's social media, whatever it is, then you need to be willing to invest in yourself. Right. Don't always come for free. Y'all, we create budgets. Many of us, what we should be doing is creating an annual budget.
Right.
If you own a business, that's what you should be doing. We're going to talk about that. So these are some of the tips that we're going to be giving. And then we're going to be setting up our site to where you can go back behind the scenes, and we're going to give you some exclusive one-on-one tips that are going to help propel your business. But the freebie that we're going to give today, DeLorne Sanders, our community police officer.
Hey, he going to come soon. Let me tell you what I want to ask our number one community policing officer of the U Lieutenant, DeLorne Sanders, 30 years on the force.
Yes.
Is ICE is doing so much stuff. Is that conflicting with like the sheriff and the police department? Like they're doing all that stuff in Minnesota, but I'm like, where's the Minnesota police? Are they like kicked them to the side now? We just running, grabbing all your people. You got your police that's in your city, and it's their job to police what's going on now. Protect and serve, not police. Police might be why folks hit you in the head with billy clubs.
Right.
You're supposed to protect and serve. It is not looking like that with ICE. ICE come in to bust your head and shoot at you, and grab you and do. And I think that you may have a job that you need to do, but I still think it's a way that you can do it.
Totally
because the community don't want a rapist. Right. The community don't want somebody crazy.
Right.
But right now it just seems like kids or anybody's available just to grab and do. So I'm just hopeful as like you said, communication, as a culture, as a country, we can find a way to communicate better and help us to understand in the community what you're doing, not just showing up, grabbing people and chasing people and all that kind of stuff. So Lieutenant Sanders, when you come in, I want to understand what's going on with that. So get ready for that. But I appreciate you tuning in. Michael Brewer, welcome to the show. I see somebody else from Japan. Japan is in the building. Welcome to the, hey, they in there.
Okay.
Okay, Damali, we going back to advertisement and why it's critically important. Can I add this in?
Yes.
We have advertisement specials going on right now. And you know us, we done built it through Community Wake Up to address your needs. Whether you're a small business and no matter where you are, our job is to meet you where you are. Because to run this stuff in here, the lights, camera, action, it costs a little something. Right. So we are making this where it's affordable. But here's the thing that we understood when we got into for-profit and not-for-profit. If you don't have a website, if you don't have no forms of social media, you do not exist. I will tell you this right now. 85% of the money and the funding that we have received came from people following us on social media.
Absolutely.
It wasn't an application we filled out. It wasn't that we went through some long form. We didn't do any of that stuff. 85% of the money, it's like, man, I see the work y'all doing in the community. Here's $50,000. I see what you're doing over here. Can I give $20,000 toward that food distribution? I see you helping kids. Can I give $10,000? And some stuff may be private people. So what we want to do is customize that for you and your company. You know, so if you want to, text me or Damali. Most of y'all on you have our number. And if you got a business or if you know somebody, let us customize advertisement for you, help you with your website, help you with your social media, help you with what you do every day.
Absolutely. I'm going to give a huge shout out, Councilwoman Ashley Grant.
Just joined us. Come on, Ashley.
Yes.
Cherokee Nation is in the house. Ashley Grant, thank you. Look, I love what Ashley did. She got in office. We reached out to us. She took the call. We did a tour of all of what we do with World One Development, and we did it to understand. You know, now we figuring out how we want to engage, but we want to give her a chance to on board. So can we say this, Damali?
Yes.
Just because somebody get in office don't mean they can just fix everything on day one.
Exactly.
You have to give your local officials some grace. Give them some time to warm up, to figure out what they got going on, but still create that relationship in love, because then in due time, I believe that they'll definitely work with you. What you think about that, Damali?
No, I totally agree. And I'll say this to piggyback off of that. We actually got the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. with Anna Marie Baker. And a delegation of us. I guess there were probably 19 of us.
19 from 19 different states.
Yes. And we all went to Washington, D.C. and sat down with some of the movers and shakers at the nation's capital. And when we did, the number one question was, do you have a relationship with your local and state leaders?
Can I take it up one level?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Now, it's 19 other organizations. I think we have been running World One Development for maybe 5 years, even though it had been around longer, but us in the position, and we sit down at the table. We're at the White House. It's different at the White House. You talking about being on time. You talking about going through CIA. You think about all of that. Security, that's a whole different. Secret Service and all that is kind of crazy. But anyway, when you go to the White House, you have a meeting with people. I don't care if it's 1 million of y'all. You got 15 minutes to introduce yourself, to talk about what you need to talk about and whatever's going on. And we came together collectively trying to get $1 billion. Now, I don't know how much they was going to give us, but I was asking the whole time. But anyway, we got in there. Like Damali said, there's 19 different cities in there. The first question the guy asked was, do y'all have a relationship with your local officials? Guess who is the only organization that hand went up? We're like, oh, yeah. Right then, all of the other 18 was disqualified. They were like, well, are you sure? We was like, we got our city council, we got our senator, our state representative, and mayor number in our cell phone. Like, we can call them. And so don't despise small beginnings. That's why we will educate on the little things that you do. That's why we're going to have a small subscription start in March, where we're going to give you some exclusive behind the scene, because it's hard work after 15 years of, you know, we done ran into them roadblocks that you're going to get a chance to miss. That's going to help you expedite, you know, the things that you're doing. But nevertheless, we're just saying by advertisement, your locals officials, which Damali was saying, is critically important to have. You got to have that.
Yes, absolutely. So we are, you know, wanting you guys to just understand that we're going to be introducing those individuals.
Right.
We're going to be bringing them on the show to talk to you. And you know, and especially during election season.
Oh, yeah. And it's still election year. It's this year. You got the midterms coming up this year. You got some of the local elections. So what we're going to do, we're never going to tell you who to vote for. So whoever we bring in, that is not the goal. We're just going to offer the platform where you can ask questions. Just be respectful. They can tell you the platform and a little bit about themselves. So we will always do that on the Community Wake Up so that you will know who's going to be in office and what they're going to be doing and what the plans are.
Absolutely. Because we want you to be in the know. And once again, and we're going to keep saying it, and we understand that this is only day 2.
Right.
But we're going to keep saying it, that we want to talk about what you want to talk about.
Right.
But these are some of the things that we've kind of, thought about. And it's like, these are some of the things that people need to know. And in our experience from being in this space for it's been the last 12 years for me.
Right.
15 for you.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, 15. Then, these are some of the things, and these are some of the questions that we know. If we present this information, then people are absolutely going to be interested, because these are the questions that people ask us,
right.
Like, how did y'all get here? How did y'all do this? How did y'all do this so fast? Or this or that, and so we just have throughout the years have been able to be in relationship with folks who have really kind of just schooled us. Yeah. And giving us kind of the game.
And I can say this, and you can take notes if you want to, or you at least can listen up, is in our community, here's the reality. We have to ask the questions because people don't just willingly give us the information. Woo. That's one of the biggest things we've learned from running for-profits and not-for-profits. When you deal with the attorneys and when you deal with the banks and you deal with your CPA, it's like some people, here's what you need to go fill out. So they're already ahead of you. When you go in, you have to know what to say. Yes. Or they just won't say it. So you got to go in and say, okay, if I do a not-for-profit, will this happen? Or if I do the not-for-profit, well, if I do them both together, it's like you kind of got to know what you're talking about, because they're not going to just willingly give you the information. When I can say in other spaces, they get that information, right? Which is part of why we be behind. But what Damali and I are going to be able to do and be willing to do is share the information, from our history of doing it. Because let me tell you something, you can be hung up on High Center for years, and lose thousands of dollars and your doors be closed, because we've been open for 15 years, the Event Center 10, EduRec going on 15, fitting back in 20. We have never closed our doors on any of our organizations, regardless of COVID, regardless of government shutdown, regardless of the SNAP benefits being gone, regardless of that, you got to have a way that you scale it, that you still can keep your doors open. Because this is the thing about our communities. We so accustomed to us closing the doors. Yes. Right when we need you the most, you go to the place, you're like, oh man, I can't get my driver's license, I can't pay my bills. Because soon as something shows up, people just start closing their doors. They be folding their tent and getting on out of there. But in our community, we don't need to do that. We need to be around to have services that our community needs.
Absolutely. So we have, it's 20 past.
Man, I got 20 more minutes.
The hour. And so I'm going to talk about and run through a couple of things that are happening real quick. Maybe we'll take a quick little break.
Take a little break.
And then we'll come right back.
Listen to these couple commercials.
Theater North Tulsa presents Nat Turner in Jerusalem at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. A powerful two-person drama imagining the final night of Nat Turner as he confronts Thomas R. Gray, the man who recorded his words and helped shape his legacy. Written by Nathan Allen Davis and directed by Keith Daniels. It's the hit stage play Nat Turner in Jerusalem. Explore faith, resistance, and the cost of telling the truth. Don't miss Nat Turner in Jerusalem, playing at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Liddy Dungeons Theater, February 21st and 22nd, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. And February 28th and March 1st, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. Get your tickets now for Nat Turner in Jerusalem at TulsaPAC.com or call 918-596-7111. Nat Turner in Jerusalem by Nathan Allen is presented by arrangement on behalf of Samuel French Incorporated.
You know what? It's really not that bad being up at 5 a.m.
Damali, you know what? You're absolutely right. The only thing better is we on 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's the Community Wake Up, our brand new morning show.
Right here on NYCU.FM.
And simulcast on KBOB 89.9 FM.
We got your Black History Trivia.
We got your medical report.
Don't forget the police report.
Your local, national, and international news.
Always the latest on upcoming events.
The Divine Nine and the HBCU check-ins.
And most importantly, we can't do it without you.
And make sure you join us each and every day.
It's the Community Wake Up
with Charles and Damali. Up with Charles and Damali. Welcome back.
Yes,
we are back. Damali, hey, I love them drops.
I know, right? JB did such a great job.
Shout out to JB Smooth, man.
Yes.
Shout out to DJ JB Smooth. We got a lot of people tuning in, local, national, and international. We appreciate you guys so much. We've been covering the good stuff. Again, if you want to do us a huge favor, click share. Remember, we're live on NYCU.FM. We also live on KBOB 89.9 FM. We also on YouTube, the official World One Development.
News you can use.
You see what I'm saying? You see? Y'all see that? That's what just like y'all, we live all the way around the board. We appreciate y'all tuning in, local, national, and international. Y'all rocking with us means everything to us. We feel it in our heart. We appreciate it. It's day 2. It's Taco Tuesday. We've been talking about health. We've been talking about policy. We've been talking about all of the good stuff. We got a lot of people on. I'm going to do some quick shout outs. Yes. We're going to get back to it. We got Japan and China and Africa. We on the continent. Is that 4 different continents? I'm trying to make sure I'm getting it right. Cousin Lori is rocking with us. Lori? Thanks, Cousin Lori. Prentice Osborne, man. Can't wait to catch up with him. Mr. Richie Anderson.
Yes, what's up, brother?
Most famous brothers from Booker T. Washington. Okay. Them Hornets. My cousin Pearlie Newton, of course. She been rocking us with us. Anna Marie Baker.
Yes, ma'am.
Love that sister. She the one took us to the White House. Absolutely. So she can confirm she got the receipts to what we said. Receipts. Mom is on. Yes, love your mom. Of course, cousin Lori. Corey Green said, good morning, peeps. He's in here. We also got live the Terrence Crutcher Foundation. Yes. The one and the only Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. Yes. We got Gary Barnett tuning in from the ATL, rocking with us, the ATL in the building. We got Maestro Sigalo. Yes. We call him Jeremiah Blackwell. Geneva Adams, welcome to the show. Natasha Mitchell, one of our favorites. We appreciate family. Ramona Rogers, the AI lady, is rocking with us live in studio. And we got many, many more. I'm going to come back and kind of shout out some of you others. Uncle Brian, I'm going to acknowledge you. Don't worry about it. Mr. Energizer, Uncle Bobby Eden over at KBOB 89.9 FM rocking with us. Well, we get to tell our story.
Our way.
Uh-oh, Damali, she on it now, y'all. We finna really do
I'm in this thing.
You in this thing now.
Who? Our state representative, Mr. Ronald Stewart.
Ronald Stewart Jr. is in the building. You talking about doing a great job. I started to text you last night. I seen you on the news. Because yesterday, they had the state of the state. Yep. And then, so we had our governor. It looked like his arm, something's going on. Hopefully your arm is all right. But he got up and gave his state of the state. And then after that, the Dems, or the Democrats spoke. And I saw our state representative, Mr. Ron Stewart there. And they were like pretty much totally against everything that he was talking about. That just shows you the difference in what one group perceived that's going on in another group, because on one side, when he was giving a state of the state last night, you would think everything in Oklahoma was wonderful. Right. But right when he finished talking, it was like, what about the cost of living? Yeah. What about what's going on with the grocery store? What about what's going on with education? What about what's going on with our health benefits? All the stuff we talking about is like they don't even know that exists. Yeah. So that's the thing about, even in politics, I'm hopeful that both parties, because it affects all of us. I'm hoping some kind of way they can sit down, what they say, walk across the aisle, pass some bills that's going to help everybody and not just a few of us.
Well, and that is why it is very important. Once again, when we do Politics 101, we're going to bring some of these community leaders. And Ronald Stewart, I've known him for a very long time. Right. And, he is somebody that is, an asset to our community. And he'll come in here and share with you guys about what's going on at the Capitol and what we need to be doing as citizens. Because this is the thing. We can't just elect them and be like, okay, they're going to take care of everything and we go on to the house and we eat bonbons. It doesn't work like that. We need to be active. We need to be involved. We need to be engaged. We need to be helping them push initiatives that are actually happening because they affect our everyday lives and they affect our children and our grandchildren. So we need to be making sure that we stay tapped in at all times.
Absolutely. I'm going back to the live because I don't want nobody mad at me because they're going to call me after the show. So you did not acknowledge me. Acknowledge me like you acknowledge Uncle Brian. Right. But anyway, I want to be your uncle too. Now I'm just playing. But Hugo Willie. Hey. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you tuning with us. Teresa, I couldn't forget her. Eli. Yes, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you, my brother. And remember, Eli, tell us your show. You're still on Tuesday. Did you move to Wednesday? Let us know so we can let the people know so they can tune in. JoJo Taylor, welcome to the show. We got Michael Brewer. Yes. He live in here with us, man. We got so many people on. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. we don't take it for granted. Of course, Lieutenant DeLorean Sander, you know, our Community Police Officer of the Year in our mind. And then, of course, the Councilwoman Ashley Grant, Cherokee Nation, Tribal Council District 5.
Okay.
Is still live with us. We appreciate you taking some time to tune in. You feel humble when your state senator come in with you. Then Damon Banks tuning in from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay. What's
My
up, Damon?
LB. I hope he never write a book, but if he do, wait till we get old. But I love him. He was the police officer a year down there in New Orleans. He's a detective. Appreciate you tuning in. New Orleans is in the house.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna run through as we're winding down.
Winding down. We got about 10 more minutes.
Yes, we're gonna run through a couple of events that are actually coming up, and we wanted to share those. We had said that we were going to do upcoming events on Friday, so could prepare you for the following week.
Right.
However, these things are happening this weekend, so we want to make sure that we get this information to you. So the 13th annual Black Wall Street Heritage and History Festival is going to be happening on February the 7th. Right here at the 36th Street North Event Center, located at 1125 East 36th Street North in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Got to make sure I say that because we are local, national, and international.
Home of Black Wall Street.
That's right.
Hey.
The theme this year is Black Thoughts Matter.
Right.
With special guest speaker Koresh Ali Lazana. For vendor information, you can contact Miss Billy Parker at 918-770-6020.
Right.
Okay. And so this is something that we're really excited about. And we've been talking about something else that's going to be happening on February the 7th. The Ouachita County Training School and Greater Bradley District Association will host their annual Black History Month program on Saturday, February the 7th at 6:00 p.m. at Word Family Church's Family Life Center in Camden, Arkansas.
Hold on. You said Camden, Arkansas. That's my spot.
Sound like it.
Shout out to Arkansas. Camden, Arkansas.
Yes.
Camden, okay.
The keynote speaker is going to be our very own Mr. Charles Harper, who is a Bearden, Arkansas native. And so he's going to be speaking there, and they're going to have a commemorative book. Now, this is the part that I want you guys to hear. Sometimes we can do things to support and help, and support doesn't, comes in many forms.
Right.
Support may be sharing this video, this broadcast, and making sure that people understand and know what's happening in community. Support can be, here, let me give you a few dollars.
Right.
Support can be, hey, Charles, good luck, and hope you have safe travels.
Right.
So here is an opportunity for you guys. Natasha says, yay, Arkansas.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Natasha. Appreciate that love.
So here's an opportunity for you guys. A lot of times you guys ask us, how can we support? How can we help? Well, they're going to be having a commemoration booklet. Right. For the 2026 Black History Month program. So they're inviting churches, family, friends, and acquaintances to honor the nominees that they're going to have by doing a promotional ad. You can do a half-page ad, which is $500. A full page ad is $500. A half page ad is $250. You can do a quarter page ad, which is $125, or you can be a patron, which means your name is going to be listed among a list of others, which is $50. Or you can just purchase a ticket, which is $25 if you want to take your show on the road and go to Arkansas, or if you're already in Arkansas, just pull up.
Oh, my Arkansans.
In
the building. I'm excited to go because for people that don't know, man, I've been in Tulsa doing a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And, I constantly think about, man, I got to do something back home. Mm-hmm. And, so having this opportunity has a lot of layers to it because I'm going back to a place where I grew up. Mm-hmm. In Tulsa, I'm accustomed. We got EduRec, 2-3 million events in a couple. Kind of did a lot of those things, but because our communities are the same everywhere. Right. It don't really matter here or there. Right. But me being able to go home to be able to focus on the Ouachita Training School, that was the Black school before we segregated, all got together. So I'm excited to go and be a part of trying to bring that back, because when I grew up, I used to be in Vacation Bible School. What y'all know about Vacation Bible School? Let me say this. Y'all probably do. Did y'all do the Father Abraham here? Yeah. The Father Abraham and many son. Yeah. And many son, Father Abraham. All of that stuff and race and all of that stuff. So this particular gym was always a beacon of life and hope in our community. So we're going to try to be raising funds for that. So the distinguished gentlemen and my cousin, Miss Pearlie, and all them, they invited me down. I appreciate it. Like Damali said, even if you can't make it, let's go to where you can send $1. You can do a little
Yeah, so it's $OCTS 1969.
1969. J-Bone. That was almost a J-Bone lounge here. But anyway, if you can't make, if you can get an ad, I would appreciate it because, of course, I'll be in there. Other companies will be in there. I'll make sure I get you a booklet if you can do an ad. You know, I got to shout out. I got to shout out somebody. Yeah. Anna Marie Baker.
Yes.
She got an ad for your boy. See, that's an example of what we do when we work together. I don't know if she can make it or not make it. But she like, Charles, you my brother. She called down there. She talked to my cousin. She got an ad, and that means everything. So even if you can't make a support, because I'm going to be doing the same thing. And guess what? The community wake up. We're going to do our show Friday.
Yes.
And then we're going to roll down to Arkansas. Now, here's the thing. We're not showing up just to do that. If you have a business or organization, you got something going on. If you want to grab us for a lunch or a breakfast, so you see I like to eat lunch, breakfast, dinner, any of that stuff. That's the only expense you can get us. And if you want to talk to us about a program, you got something going on with your school, or we do a not-for-profit with prison reentry. We've been doing for 20 years. We've helped graduate over 2,000 people at an 86% success rate. One time was the largest prison reentry program in the country. Yes. You know, we have an event center here celebrating 10 years this year. Woo! You know, so weddings and wedding receptions, expungement expo, it's a daycare connected to it. Hey, when COVID happened, we was feeding 1,500 people. We did 27 food distribution with Dr. Tiffany Cutchin, our councilwoman, and all those different people, and our Youth and Family Fun Center. 53,000 square feet, 15 acres of land, spring break camp, summer camp, dance programs, computer lab, STEM, STEAM, and all of that. So we do a lot. So if you want to pull us over in Arkansas, give us a little piece of catfish with some coleslaw, with some frosty. I'm getting hungry already. But if you want to catch up with us, we'll be there.
Breakfast this morning.
If you want to invite us to church, because we'll leave Sunday coming back. But if you got a church, you want to invite us to church, we real people. We doing the community wake up, but we are all about spreading love and supporting. I do have a lot of family. Letitia Brunson, councilwoman in Pine Bluff, is going to come down. She's going to support some others. So a lot of my family members are coming down. So if you can, pull up and hang out with your boy for a little bit.
Then
send a donation. Purchase an ad. Purchase a ticket. Do something to support this great cause, because it was the black school, and now they're gonna use it for after school program, for tutoring, for all of those things that are so needed, which is some of the things we do right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of Black Wall Street.
So Teresa says, congratulations, Charles Lamont.
Thank you.
AJ says, yes, we had Vacation Bible School every year, every summer.
I'm going to tell you what I used to do at Vacation Bible School. Well, we do the Father Abraham. I always remember that. We used to have this. AJ, I don't know about y'all. You got a couple years on me. You got a little more season on your fry. I don't never call nobody old. A little more season. But we used to do relay races.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be like 25 different churches. And you have the relay. You run down, come back, and all that. And, man, we would be waiting. It's something about being the fastest where I'm from. Because if you ain't got no speed, then you really can't roll with us, because it's all about running. So I could always vividly remember everybody would be gathering around, because we're going to do the relay. Yeah. You know, so it'd be 2 on that side, 2 on this side. And this is what I would do. I'd be done lost the first 2 rounds, Damali. But see, in Arkansas, you don't know nothing about this. Don't be no hater. Just receive what I'm about to say.
Okay.
In Arkansas, when we was little, I can't do it now. When we take our shoes off.
Uh-oh. Oh, you mean business.
When we racing. Now, you might beat me because I had on the hush puppies like Uncle Brian mentioned.
Right.
But when I take the hush puppies off,
it's on and popping.
Oh, you're not gonna be. It's like disrespectful. It's like no shoes mean turbo.
Right.
Turbo power, turbo juice. So whenever I took them shoes off, and here's the example of that. End up winning state championship.
Okay.
My senior year in track and field. So I got some receipts for the relays, just in case somebody tried to come against my story at Vacation Bible School. But I'm excited about going to Camden, Arkansas.
That is awesome. Okay, so we got about 4 more minutes. So we're gonna run through these real quick and wrap up. Everybody's laughing at you because I think
don't y'all be laughing at me like that. Hold on. We supposed to be family now. We local, national, international. We doing the wake up. Okay, yeah.
They laughing at you. All right, so Black Wall Street Rally has joined the conversation.
Yes.
So we want to say, hey, what's up? We see you. Trisha Risky Douglas. What's up, sister?
What's going on, family? Appreciate you tuning in to the Wake Up. Yeah, but we love you, because look, when we hosted the Black Wall Street Rally, we got hungry. Yeah. If you didn't want to support us, she brought us chicken and meat and hot dogs and hot links and ribs and food. She said, Charles and Damali, I see y'all working on that stage. I got the food to serve you something. We ate, we got back on stage. We thought we was the artists.
Yes.
Then they had to remind us, Marcus and them said, y'all are just the host. You're not supposed to be. Y'all are not the artists. But anyway,
so
appreciate
we got
that.
about 3 more minutes.
Yes.
Uncle Brian says, great show. Uncle Brian, we ain't off yet.
We're about to be.
He's talking about see you tomorrow. We ain't off yet.
Well, he just letting us know early.
All right. So wanted to tell you guys about this scholarship opportunity. Over $770,000 in scholarships for Oklahoma students is available. It's open to students 9th through 12th grade. Now, they're going to test your knowledge of Oklahoma history and geography. And Ms. Parlin already told you these tests are not set up. So we're going to have to do some education of our kids on our own. But that you need to register by February the 27th. You can go to OklahomaHof.com. We'll post this on our website. Then also EduRec Spring Break Camp is accepting registrations right now. You can call us at 918-430-3947, or you can go to edurectulsa.com. You can actually sponsor a child, sponsor multiple children, or the entire camp. So reach out to us at edurectulsa.com for sponsorships, or you can call Charles or myself directly. Tomorrow is going to be Wellness Wednesday.
Yes.
Our theme is going to be wellness and wholeness. Don't forget to like our page, share the show with 5 friends, and tell them to like our page. Most importantly, we want you guys to tune in tomorrow.
Yes, like that. And here's another thing to do to support. We're going to be live every day. So it's a sacrifice. And I'm hungry right now. But we here live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., of course. But go to World One Development. The one is spelled W-O-N, world1development.com. You see the donate button. Stroll and see all the work first. Now, don't just donate for nothing, but see all the work that we do. Please consider donating. We would appreciate that if it's one time, monthly, annually, or whatever. Also, a lot of y'all like, I only cash out. That's fine. $ World One Development. If you want to help us with a little breakfast, because we hungry now. We done have fun with y'all. Damali, so how you feel now? The second show?
I'm
it's in the bag. You feel pretty good?
Yeah.
All y'all tuning in. We appreciate y'all as well. I'm glad I could give y'all the shout outs. If you want to do me one final big thing, click, share, tell a friend. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about what, Damali?
We're going to be talking about Wellness Wednesday, wellness and wholeness.
We're going to catch y'all next time right here on the Community Wake Up with Charles
and Damali.
We live Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. We will see you next time.